All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Maros, and welcome to today's video. And the topic today is how men are pushing women away unconsciously, or how men unconsciously push women away. So by the end of this video, you will understand why, if you're going out with women regularly and you feel rejected constantly, why this thing is happening and how you are responsible for that. If you are the person who is afraid of approaching, or maybe you keep approaching women again and again and again and again and again with zero results, with getting constantly rejected and with constantly feeling weird, by the end of this video, you will understand what it is that is causing this thing to happen, and what you can do in order to get rid of that. Maybe not get rid of that, but move on to the next level so that you can actually start enjoying these experiences and get more results. Okay, so I will start with a metaphor. Actually, I wanted to start with something else, but now I forgot what it was because I had a great story in the beginning. Anyway, imagine a situation where you are sitting somewhere in a bar, and sometimes there are these people coming that they are selling something and they are offering something to you, or maybe sometimes they want donation, and sometimes they come to you, they start speaking to you, and the words they're saying to you are really nice. These can be people who are taking donations in the streets, and the words they're saying are really nice. It's really well crafted. You almost feel like you want to trust them, but there is something about them. You don't know what it is. There is something about them that makes you think like, I shouldn't trust this person. I don't know why, but I shouldn't. And you don't really know why. And then someone else tells you the same story, how they met the same person. And then in the end, this person turns out to be a fraud. And whether it's this particular case or any other example in the past, you surely have experienced when the image you saw, the person who, the words the person was saying was not aligned somehow with the way you perceived them. So they were saying one thing, right, with their words, but the way you felt about them was just somehow not right. You couldn't clearly explain it, but you really know that you shouldn't trust this person. You should really rather move on and just somehow, find someone else, find something better, and so on. What happened in this case is that logically you are receiving one piece of information. That's the 7% of the communication that happens through words. But emotionally, you are receiving a very different piece of information. And this different piece of information you received through feeling. And this feeling got together through the tone of voice, through the facial expression, through the person's body posture, through the person's way that they were saying those, the words they were saying to you, the way they were looking at you or maybe not looking at you, and so on. Simply, you felt very differently about the person than what the person was actually saying. Now, there are two kinds of people who will meet these kind of people. The first ones are those who will actually believe what those people will tell them, despite their initial bad feeling they had in the stomach, or that, the intuitive hint that they get. The other kind of people will be more intuitive, and they will rely on this intuition, on this internal feeling that they shouldn't really hang out and deal with these people because there's something off and it just wouldn't work in the future. Now, guess what? I talked about strangers and about you dealing with these strangers, but this is also happening between men and women. Women are definitely much more intuitive and feeling-based creatures than men. Men, we are more logical. And we believe, for some reason, that if we can handle the communication with words correctly, and if we say the right things at the right time in the right way, then it can somehow cover what's going on internally. And we can cover up the emotions that we are feeling inside. The truth is that when you speak to a woman and when you are on a date and you are actually, there is an effort to connect between these two people, she knows exactly what you're feeling. She doesn't know exactly what you're thinking, but if you're in your head and you're disconnected from your emotions and you are trying to say the right things and you're trying to avoid all this stuff that's happening in the inside, she sees that. Okay? So she knows what you feel and she sees through that. Now, the thing is, when you talk together, the message that you're sending is not that you're trying really hard to connect and that you're trying really hard to make it work and so on. The message you're sending out is that you are feeling something and you want to disconnect from this uncomfortable feeling and you want to make it sound right in order to say the right thing so that it works. Right? You might be doing this unconsciously. This is one of the ways how men are sabotaging their efforts with women in dating. But nevertheless, if this is the case and you have this fear and you want her not to see that fear, you want to hide this fear from her, or maybe there is this feeling of hatred against women because of the past relationship you had, or there is this like really, really painful experience you had in the past, like, and it's really boiling in you as you're speaking to this woman, she can see that. And now the reason why men are pushing away women this way is that they're literally saying, I cannot be trusted. Because imagine if you have this person in front of you, would you trust them? Would you trust them if you have this intuitive feeling about them that they don't really like you, or that they really, 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 really try hard in order to get you to do something for them, and you feel that they are doing that, but they pretend as if they're just having a friendly conversation? When you see this dissonance, when you see this disbalance between these two things, you will run away whatever it takes. Why? Because you see beyond what this person is communicating to you. And that's scary. That's scary because then if you say yes, you are agreeing with something what they're telling you, right? Like, let's just hang out for a coffee. And in the end, you will discover that in the coffee, the person is trying to sell you insurance or some, soaps or whatever, like these multi-level marketing companies are selling. So if you can feel this in the beginning of the conversation, right? Like if I use the obvious example, if someone doesn't speak to you for ages and then they call you and then they want to meet and then they want to hang out and suddenly they are super friendly, but they've never been so friendly, there's something suspicious about this. It just doesn't feel right, right? So the way how men are unconsciously sabotaging their efforts with women is that they have this inner disbalance between what they feel and how they feel about themselves and how they feel about women and how they communicate when they actually are with women. And the options of what can be specifically are wildly numerous. So for instance, it can be that men have this massive desire to have sex with women or with one particular girl that they're going to approach. Now, if they are feeling guilty for this, they feel that they shouldn't really feel sexually attracted to a girl because they are hurting that girl for that. Then they will approach this girl. Part of them will be screaming that they want to be sexually open with this girl, but the other part will be telling them, man, you make whatever it takes. You should not hide this. You should hide this. You should not show that she turns you on. So try to be cool. Try to make it okay. Just make it look okay. Make it look casual. What's the best thing to say? And then, bam, they're in their heads. They're overthinking and they're making it look weird. And it's like it looks like effort because they are really investing a lot of energy in doing it right. But the reason why it's self-sabotaging and the reason why it doesn't work is actually that they are rejecting their feelings of sexual attraction for the girl, which, by the way, she loves if it's desired, if it's expressed openly and if it's expressed with respecting boundaries. And because they want to repress this, they want to make it perfect, and then it eventually is not going to work. Now, and I'm saying if they have an experience with women from the past, and this can be their mother who was blaming them for their sexuality, or who was blaming their father for being too horny or whatever in front of the eyes of the children will develop the idea and the belief that all women are like this, and all women are, blah, blah, doing this to men, and they are behaving this in a certain way. So then they will walk around the world and walk in the world and creating these experiences for themselves from the inside. And because they will experience it outside, they will create a belief that is happening actually in the outside. They will reject responsibility that they are at the cause of doing that. And they will be running in circles, having the same pattern, running over and over and over and over again until they figure it out. I'm going to figure it out until they get to the emotional root cause of what's happening and root it out there. That's the sexual one. The other one that's very common is one that men, when men are approaching women, you shouldn't show her that you like her. So it's this ridiculous idea that you are going to approach a girl because you like her, right? That's the very first reason why you actually are doing that. But the strategy to do that is to not show that you like her, because if you do that, she will have a psychological advantage over you, and now she can manipulate you because she already knows that you like her, so she can do whatever she wants. How is this helping you to actually create an emotional connection or create a physical connection or any kind of connection with a girl? It's actually not helping you at all, because then she's going to do the same. So I'm going to pretend that I don't like him. And then there's going to be this boring conversation of two people who are actually discussing logical topics like economy or, this interview kind of dates. So what do you do for a living? How long have you been in this job? What did you do before? What did you study? Blah, blah. And it's just boring as hell. And no one really knows where is the other person stands on the other person, right? Like no one really knows if they like each other or not. And therefore, if you have a conversation like this and you are successfully managing to handle all the attraction for 45 minutes, you have no idea, the person will stay there with you. You have no idea if you should kiss her or not, because you don't know if there is this mutual attraction or not. Therefore, it looks like if you want to kiss her, the step between talking and kissing is like huge, 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 huge. There's this massive fear and a fear of failure. And eventually, when the guys are facing this, they will not take any action whatsoever because it just starts to feel overwhelming. What if you could do it the other way? What if you did not have to play these ego games at all, and you can just show her that you like her right from the beginning? Right from the very first conversation, the way you talk to her, you are saying stuff, you just turn it upside down. You're talking about mundane stuff. What did you have for breakfast? Oh, so you had an oatmeal. That's interesting. Whatever. I'm making stuff up. But the thing is, you can communicate that you like her through whatever words you're using. You can communicate that she turns you on through whatever words you're using. When you do this, she suddenly can trust you, because suddenly you're not the weird guy who communicates one thing and who apparently feels something completely else, right? So when she can trust you, she can finally show you as well that she likes you too. And when this happens, then you can start to flirt. Then you can tell her something that you like about her, and you can maybe poke into her a little bit verbally. She pokes you back. She tells you that you're a weirdo, and you can say yeah, I'm a weirdo, but I still like you. And you can have fun. And the words are completely irrelevant. And what did you do? Actually, you did nothing. You just stopped doing all those things that you were doing before to make things complicated, which were actually pushing women away. So how to get there? I mean, how to make this shift from unconsciously pushing women away to being who you are, being honest, being truthful to what you think, what you feel, and have these beautiful experiences with women, or with one woman that you decide to be in a committed relationship with. Well, the shift number one is stop thinking and start feeling. Okay? No man has ever logically figured out how to successfully create emotional and physical and sexual connection with a woman. Logically, no man has ever succeeded with this, because this stuff is not done through logic. This stuff is done through feeling. So when you go out with her and you go to the date and you feel good in your skin, you feel good in the restaurant you're sitting or the park you're sitting in, and you're enjoying yourself and you're enjoying her presence, and you feel safe in your body, you feel that you have control, even if you say something stupid. You feel you have control, even if she rejects you. This is something my mentor used to call you're indifferent to outcome. You're going to feel good whatever it takes, not whatever it takes, whatever happens. The guy who created the method of releasing, that's the method I work with, emotional releasing, his name is Lester Levinson. He called this state imperturbability. That's a state where nothing and no one can bother you. So she will tell you whatever and you will still be enjoying, but not from a place of, well, you're telling me this, do whatever you want. No, from a place of actually being able to be loving and playful and joyful. So she tells me I have a massive forehead that she had never ever seen before in my life. And I say, I have never even seen such a massive forehead myself. I wonder when a helicopter lands there. So see, like you can make jokes from anything from this place, from being indifferent to outcome, when you just feel good. From this place, you can show her that you are attracted to her. And if she tells you she's not interested, it's still okay. Why? Because it's your truth. It's your truth that you are attracted to her. And you felt that. You recognize that inside yourself. You brought it on the surface. You shared it with her. And that's how you created this beautiful experience. So the first step to this is stop thinking, stop trying to figure out logically what to say, what is the right thing to do, and start creating a new intention. And the intention is to feel good yourself. Feel good in your own skin so that you can start. So instead of figuring out things logically what to say, you can tap into this feeling of flow and stuff just keeps coming out of you. Like stuff just keeps coming out of your mind and you wonder, like, I've never even thought about this before. And actually it's true. And that's how you can connect with the other person. When the other person does the same, when the girl also is this feeling of feeling safe with you and being honest, then you have this beautiful interaction. Then you have this beautiful exchange. It feels good. It feels nice. You feel connection. And then the date can go anywhere you want. And if it doesn't, it's still okay. But now you're okay with it. And that's a paradox, because exactly because of that, it's going to go to where you want much more likely. Okay? So in case you liked what you heard, and in case you want to go deeper in this topic and you want to get to know yourself better, what are the reasons why you're getting into your head? What are the emotions that you are rejecting? What are the emotions that are causing you to actually want approval from this girl? Then go to bymaros.com/book now and book a session with me today. We're going to talk about where you're at, what is the root cause of where you're at, where are your issues coming from. We'll have a look at what it would look like exactly if it was the way you want, and we'll craft a step-by-step game plan together to get you where you want to be. Okay? The session is free. It's going to be about 45 to 60 minutes, and my goal is for you to really have this step-by-step game plan so that you know what to do next and you don't have to run in circles. This wanting approval is another, by the way, that just came up, is another way how men are successfully sabotaging efforts with women. And it works something like this. Imagine that you go, and I'm absolutely sure that all of you guys who are watching this have experienced this, or even if women are watching, you have absolutely experienced the being out with someone and this person gives you a feeling that I will agree with anything you tell me. So it's those conversations like, okay, so, hey, how are you? You know, they come super enthusiastic. Hey, how are you? Like, I'm good, thanks. How about you? I'm good. How are you? Like, I'm good, thank you. And you know, like you ask about what's their favorite movie. What's their favorite movie? They say my favorite movie is Pirates of Caribbean. How about yours? Well, I really like Lord of the Rings. And they go, yeah, I really like Lord of the Rings too, maybe even more than Pirates of Caribbean. And I mean, in their mind, what's happening in their head is that they are extremely enthusiastic about wanting you to like them. They're not doing it on purpose. They are anxious. They are feeling this fear inside, and they're not comfortable at all. But this is what comes through. Now, there's a chance that they go home, they're going to speak with their classmates or with their roommates, and they're going to be like, their guy is really weird. Whatever I said, whatever I wanted to do, just wouldn't work. And they would just be really blah, blah, you know, like just, they just would be pissed off at you because you didn't give them the approval that they were looking for. While as in your side, it looked like they were screaming, dude, please like me so that I can feel good enough about myself. Please give me the validation. Please agree with me so that I can be like you, so that I can feel good in my own skin. They're literally saying with their minds, please tell me I'm good enough, because without you, I cannot believe it myself. Now, the example I've used is extreme. Like this is insane. But the thing is, if this is 100% and you have 10% or 15 or 20% and you're out with a girl and you communicate this to her, please validate me. Please tell me my jokes are good enough. Laugh at my jokes, because if you don't, I'm going to feel that I'm failing and I'm going to feel bad about myself. If she reads this between the lines, that's a major turnoff. That's a major turnoff, and no amount of logical thinking, no amount of reading the game will help you overcome this, because it's right on your forehead. And if your forehead is as big as mine, it's actually quite easy to read. So it's right on your forehead that you're screaming insecurity and you want her validation in order that you can feel good about yourself, and she doesn't want to give that to you. The same way, like you wouldn't want to hang out with a person who will agree with you, whatever it takes, in order for them to feel good about themselves. So again, the way out of this is not through logic, is not through thinking, is not through reading more books and consuming more content that's logically going to help you solve this. The solution is turning thinking off, getting into feeling, and starting to notice what it is that's actually there. And once you notice that, the second step is to actually accept that and being okay with who you are, doing the emotional releasing so that you can get that stuff out of your system and stay with the intention to connect, to be honest, and to have these beautiful relationship, beautiful experiences with women. And if that's what you want, have a beautiful relationship and beautiful romantic relationship with one person and with one woman, and have a family with her, maybe, whatever you want. Okay. So if you want to dig deeper, if you want to explore this topic and you want to really understand yourself from this perspective and get a step-by-step game plan of how to get out of this, patterns, then go to buymaros.com/book now and book the session now. You're going to be taken to a page where you take a term and like date and a time from a calendar. After that, there's a very short questionnaire that will help me to prepare for our session so that I can prepare in advance, and then we just have the session. Okay. So stop self-sabotaging and start feeling good. And start today. Okay. Have a nice day. Bye.